conversation about Malik Willis. Let's see, outside of our little sphere here, how the rest of the world feels about Malik Willis and how he's been playing this year.
Hit the deep balls, and it's a recurring theme. It feels like for young quarterbacks who play well, it's the combination of, I mean, I don't want to say elite athleticism because there's like Josh Allen level of athleticism, but it's a combination of like super high end.
I think he's an elite athlete. I'm going back and watching some of his runs. Holy smokes, he is a great scrambler.
The combination of that elite athleticism and the deep ball accuracy, it's so impressive. And for him to come from where he came at Tennessee, you look at those stats, you look at those games, to what he did in this game against the Ravens. Of course, they lost in the game, but like he felt like almost perfect.
What do you think?
And he was. I mean, he truly was almost perfect. Like it was what he had 2 incompletions. And I love that they point out it's one thing to have elite athleticism. It's another thing to have elite athleticism and you can throw the deep ball accuracy, right? And Matt LaFleur was very vocal the other day in saying there's not a throw on the field that Malik Willis can't make. So again, if you're a team needing a quarterback, you got to be looking up going, all right, what does he do well? What does he not do well? What does Malik Willis not do well based off what we've seen in the last 2 years, Tim? If you had to name something, what would it be? What would you say?
He's not really good at sucking.
There you go.
He's really good at doing the opposite of being terrible.
Right. And the only negative thing that you would have that would make you a little bit complacent, a little bit worried about signing him in free agency is it's a small sample size. He looked bad in Tennessee, which, let's be honest, every quarterback in the last decade and a half, it feels like, has looked bad in Tennessee. It's kind of like the Jets, right?
Yep.
What happened with Sam Darnold? He was with the Jets for, 3 or 4 years, and then he leaves and then bounced around a little bit, gets a shot in Minnesota, dominated. Now he's up in Seattle, and they're arguably the best team in the NFC. So let's continue.
Think about what are teams getting in him potentially, and how do you build an offense around him? I think you hit on what makes him so exciting, which is because of his rushing threat and what he adds to. Defenses are very frightened of it. And you get that Eagles thing where he gets a lot of single high and then he can kill you outside the numbers. In the game against the Ravens, they played single high and close to 60%. You're telling you have to stop the run, obviously.
Single high, obviously, meaning single high safety. You're either in a cover 3 or a cover 1 look. I'm imagining the numbers she's talking about are post snap. This is end result. It's single high coverage, not just a single high pre-snap sugar. They may have started in a shell, but they ended with a single high look, which means you're buzzing a safety into the box to help stop the run. And like she says, how do you beat that? You need to be able to attack outside of the numbers. Not every quarterback in the league can attack outside of the numbers because their arm isn't strong enough or accurate at different levels, the median line, and then obviously the deep passes. So.
And versus single high, he went 11 for 12 for 177 yards.
Again, when you're 11 of 12 for 177 yards against single high, when scouts are looking for potential free agents, potential prospects in college football, that's one of the key numbers they're looking at because that tells you, Tim, they are consistently distributing the ball outside of the numbers. They don't have to just live in the middle of the field.
Yep.
People used to hate that Rodgers didn't go over the middle of the field often. Do you know why he didn't? Because that's where the majority of the defense was.
Yeah.
And
middle field closed. Yeah.
That's a harder throw to make, Tim, outside of the numbers. So you're increasing your odds, your chances of taking away the middle of the field, which is why when I talk about positions of tier 1 importance, what do I say? 3 tech, right in the middle of the defense. Mike backer, right in the middle of the defense. Post safety, right in the middle of the defense, and try to force him to make those low percentage throws. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
All right.
That said, I've been really impressed too by some of the throws he makes between the numbers. Throws a beautiful go ball. We've seen that. We saw it last year to Watson where he hit it was like a seam ball versus he split the safeties.
You guys remember that? They went split safety and Malik said, okay, yeah, I'll just hum that Taylor, feather it right down the seam for 6 to Watson. I love that Watson caught that ball and said, when he caught it, Tim, I thought, all right, we're going to be setting up a 1st and goal here. That's immediately what I thought. He turned on the burners and just ran through 2 defenders at the goal line. It was awesome.
He's a grown-ass man now. And
that is right, Coach.
That was a beautiful throw. He is primarily throwing outside the numbers at this point, but there's enough there between the athleticism and the accuracy throwing downfield and the continued development he's shown as a passer for a team to be intrigued by what he's put on tape. I'm not saying perfect or whatever, but there's definitely enough there. I would love to see him on a team that can run the football, because think about that and just what we were talking about in terms of the math. Dolphins, Jets, Browns, Steelers, Colts, Raiders, Vikings? Question.
So how many was that? 6 or 7 teams she just named off, Tim?
Don't forget the Cardinals.
We want there to be 31 teams pursuing him is what we want, right? That's what
better comp pick, right?
Yeah. That and more money for Malik. I love that dude, man. Yeah, you talking about you can't find a better guy.
Talk about someone who deserves to get the bag for sure.
And listen, if I have my way, selfishly as a fan, and I feel grimy saying this, I really do. I would want no one to pursue him, Tim, and we get him back for a minimum contract. That'd be great for the Packers.
Yeah, 3-year deal.
That's not realistic, and that's not what's great for him. Now, if the number falls somewhere around 10 million, 12 million, I'm going, I think that's money well spent, boys. Guarantee a good chunk of it. Tack on some voidable years so it don't hurt your cap hit in this 3-year window, and keep the train moving.
To mark Cardinals and then Rams if Matthew Stafford retires.
Could you imagine Sean McVay with Malik Willis, who just showed he can run Sean McVay's offense? That's what Matt LaFleur runs, essentially. That sounds like the perfect fit right there. My goodness, man.
I like the Steelers.
Really?
Because they're not drafting high.
You like it for him or you like it for them?
I think it's a good marriage of what they want to be with their offensive identity.
And that's Arthur. God, what's his name? I can never think of his last name.
The OC over there.
Yeah, he runs a very similar style offense that Matt LaFleur does. Now they play a lot of 12 personnel, but again they like to go under center. And him is it Arthur Smith? Am I thinking
Arthur Smith?
Yeah, I think it is Arthur Smith.
I can picture him right now. He's got the stash.
Oh yeah, he's got the grown ass man stash, man. There's very few people that can wear a mustache and not look like a creeper. He don't look like a creeper with a stash. If you guys see me with a mustache, you'll go, "Oh my God, let me have my children." That's a weird looking dude right there. I don't know how they do it, man. He's got that big old caterpillar on the lip, though, for sure.
Kennedy. What about you? What do you think?
It's a bit of a cop out, but like I go to Minnesota first. Like
that's the one that worries me, Tim. That would suck. KOC got Malik Willis. Oh, it would suck so bad, man.
Yep. In the division, a quarterback that knows how to, a coach that knows how to deal with a good quarterback like that. Yeah, that would not be my first pick.
Forcing me to root against Malik Willis would just be horrible, dude. That would be absolutely horrible. I could root for him with the Rams, unless they play the Packers, but I cannot root for a division rival.
Or the Dolphins, or the Steelers, sure. But Minnesota, oh my goodness, hopefully not.
Yeah, and shout out to Amy Gooding, confirmed it was Arthur Smith there, so we did have that name right. Nice. Coach Lynn in the chat said, "Imagine Willis with Atlanta and Bijan Robinson." Well, that's scary.
There you go.
That'd be a
like
lot.
Mina Kimes was just saying, there's a team with a run game, right?
Yeah. And you got who is it? Kyle Pitts at tight end, nice big target. Drake London, wide receiver. Some pieces are in place there. Make a lot of sense. So let's continue. I think we're about wrapped up. Just a few more minutes or a few more seconds here.
If I'm taking it from his perspective, it's like, where do I want to go? I'm trying to get to Minnesota as quickly as possible.
All right. Now, why would he do that, right? Why would he go to Minnesota? Justin Jefferson, right? A great young coach in KOC. That's the only place that I could think of, Tim, because obviously Detroit, they've kind of got their quarterback in Goff. The Bears have got their guy in Caleb Williams. Man, I would hate it if he went to the Vikings. That's the only team I can think of where, no, please don't let that happen.
Holding out hope that maybe it's Miami.
Right.
We've talked about Tua maybe being, out of the fold there. And if they're looking for a quarterback, I'm keeping my eyes set on Miami, hopefully for Malik. And they probably give him the bag too.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to, in terms of projected market value, this is where it gets really, really weird because there's no market value attached to Malik Willis as it sits. Right there, you see his previous average annual value is $1.2 million. He's going to get paid a lot more than that, right? Now, when you look at the players that they've got enough of a comp on to establish market value, and most of the time, Tim, I'm finding that these numbers are actually low with most positions. Quarterback, it may be the opposite. Maybe they shoot way higher. But the projected market value for Daniel Jones going into free agency, his previous average annual value is $14 million per. His market value, $44.5 million per year. is what they're saying Daniel Jones is worth. Now
they're loving that tape from this year.
Right.
First eight weeks before he got injured.
I think that he will not sniff that number. I think it's going to be closer to 20 million personally because of the injury and other things that come into factor, right? Like you said, it wasn't like he did it for a full season, okay?
Right.
So I think it's going to be significantly lower, but again, these are just projected market values. Aaron Rodgers is set now. His previous average annual value, 13.6 million. His market value, 10.4 million. I think Malik's going to make more than 10 million. That number gives me hope though, Tim, because if they're saying that Aaron Rodgers and the way he played this year is only worth 10 million, I can see Malik being in that ballpark a little bit more, but maybe not higher than 15 million. So maybe we could get him back if we wanted him. Again, that's a big difference between 44 million for Daniel Jones and 10 million for Aaron Rodgers, right?
I wonder how much of Aaron's comments going into this year were kind of, are having an effect on that market value. Like he's publicly said, I'll pay for 10 million, or I'll play for the, veteran minimum, whatever.
Great point.
And with him all but saying, hey, this is the last hurrah, this is the last ride, maybe that number's there just in case he decides he wants to run it back one more year at age 43. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure, man. So again, the market value, Daniel Jones, 44.5 million per, Aaron Rodgers, 10.4 million per, Russell Wilson, 5.8, Marcus Mariota, 8.6, Zach Wilson is 1.4, Tyrod Taylor, 4 million, Joe Flacco, 5.7. So I'm going to name these off. Who would you rather have as your quarterback? I'm going to name these players off along with Malik Willis. Would you rather have Malik Willis or Joe Flacco, Tim?
Malik Willis.
Agreed. Tyrod Taylor or Malik Willis?
Malik.
Agreed. Zach Wilson.
Stop playing games. You already know the answer.
Marcus Mariota.
Malik.
Russell Wilson.
Oh, my goodness, Malik.
Aaron Rodgers.
Don't you do that to me, Clayton.
Now, here's the thing about this one, right, Tim? Is it 1 year or are you trying to build a long-term?
If you're building, you're going Malik all day, right?
Absolutely, right. Yeah. Now, if it's let's run it back, try to win a Super Bowl, I'm going
you
with
might go with Mr. Rodgers. Yeah.
Daniel Jones or Malik Willis?
Malik Willis.
Me too.
Yeah. And, call me a homer or whatever, but I feel like if Malik had the same amount of reps and the same amount of starts as a Daniel Jones, there'd be no comparison at all. We'd say Malik right away anyway.
Right. So again, what's the point of talking about this? My point is, as we sit here on January 2nd, 2026, Malik Willis, in my opinion, is the top quarterback free agent in the National Football League.
Yep.
That's what we're learning. Unless somebody gets cut, right?
I was just going to say, unless we get a cut, but even then, who's going to get cut that would even compare, right?
I mean, if Matthew Stafford got cut, absolutely, right? Why would they do that? I don't think they're going to do that. Yeah. Right? I think it's going to be he's either going to retire or he's coming back, right? Jared Goff, if the Lions surprised us and said, you know what, we're not as close as we thought we were, let's cut bait with Jared Goff and move on. If that's the case, but he just got a big contract. I don't even think that's possible, to be honest with you, man. Matter of fact, I
think Goff's a Detroit Lion until he hangs it up. I think
you're probably right, man. That's what that feels like for sure. Like if I were to go to this, that's the first one that comes to mind. Like, okay, would he even be available? Right. If we go to Jared Goff's contract, so the potential out there ain't until 2028. And what that means, guys, is if we take a look at that, so if they were to try to move on next year, his cap hit is 69 million, the dead cap 63. So if they moved on next year, if there's no little chicanery going on in the clauses in terms of the optional aspect of the bonuses and all that, it looks like they could move on from him and free up $6 million next year. And then the next year in 2027, 54.6 million is the cap hit. The dead cap is only 29.2, so they could move on in 2027 a lot easier. That's a lot more appealing in my opinion. But I'm with you, Tim. It kind of feels like the way he played too. Listen, I hate the Detroit Lions, but I feel like Jared Goff played pretty damn good football this year. I mean, he was definitely a top 10 quarterback. He was, in my opinion. So I could be wrong there. I could be in the minority. But with that being said, anything else you want to add to this, Tim? This conversation here about Malik Willis, and do you see it the same way? Is he the best quarterback free agent as it sits right now?
It certainly looks like it right now. like you said, pending anything else happening. And I think Mina Kimes made a great point too, in her bit there, talking about his ability to throw the deep ball and his ability to attack outside the numbers. We're so accustomed to, ever since, we got him here from Tennessee, that, hey, let's run condensed sets, get the ball out quick, RPR, RPO, play action, trust him to hammer that little dig route or hammer that outside throw. This boy can spin the ball down the field 50, 60, 70 yards, no problem. And I think that's something that's separating him from the rest of the guys in that category right now. It's something that a lot of people might have slept on. We're used to seeing Malik run down the field and do it with his feet and, get the ball out quick, but that man can stand in the pocket and deliver the ball down the field too.
Oh yeah, he can. And again, we were a little, even going into this year, I didn't see him as a quarterback like, if you make him stand in the pocket, he can't beat you. This year he's kind of proven, no, he can beat.
Yep.
Now, how much of that's Matt LaFleur? I know there's a portion of the fan base that don't want to give Matt any credit, but boys, I'm telling you, the track record with Matt being, lockstep with the quarterbacks on his team, RG3, rookie of the year when Matt was there. Matt Ryan got completely flipped around and won an MVP when Matt was there. Jared Goff had one of his best statistical years in LA and led them to a Super Bowl appearance when Matt was there. Matt comes to the Green Bay Packers. There were some people that were ready to run Aaron Rodgers out of town. He wins back-to-back MVPs. Okay, let's see him do it without Aaron. Jordan Love, they made the playoffs with Jordan Love at the quarterback helm, had an awesome back half of 2023 where he was the best quarterback in the NFL the back half of 2023. This year, he was an MVP candidate most of the year before the injury piled up a little bit there at the end.
Tupac LaFleur is the common denominator there.
It's true. It's true.
Scared money don't make money.
That's what might, maybe I'm being a little too hopeful here, that might drive a little bit of the value down as a Packer fan for Malik Willis in free agency is, what has he done outside of being in Green Bay and Matt LaFleur's system, right? And that looks bad. It does. And that's where teams will probably – that's the beautiful thing about free agency. If he was on the roster and they were renegotiating Tim, they would go at him with a little bit of that angle, right?
Sure.
But when you hit free agency and you got 5, 6, 7 teams pursuing someone, you don't mention anything negative. You just go, you're the dude. You're the guy we want. You're trying to pitch them, right? You're trying to sell that car. So I like what Joseph says here, Chad Powers. And somebody else, who was it? Chuck.
I saw Shane Falco in there. There it is. Chuck Jaggers. Got to call Shane Falco. Let's go.
Anytime Emilio or anybody else brings up Shane Falco's name, Tim, I always see him running in slow motion on the field with that hair flying. Keanu Reeves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Prime Keanu. Yeah.
The cheerleader girlfriend cheering him on the sideline. God, who is our boy from Hoosiers, the head coach? I'm trying to think of his name.
Gene Hackman. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Legend.
Man, what a great movie. John Madden and Pat Summerall calling the game up in the book. Oh, it's awesome. I'm going to have to go watch that today. So
Love it.
Yeah. I love it. Packer Doug. Hey, it's Falco. Falco's back. There you go. Yeah. Amen. Packer Doug says, Madden, God rest his soul, man. John Madden, everything he did for the game of football. I can't say it enough, man. Cannot say it enough. So with that being said, you guys are watching this video back later. Let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you. How do you feel about the Malik Willis situation? Do you agree with Mina Kimes and how she's very, very high on Malik Willis? Do you think he is the best free agent quarterback in the National Football League going into free agency 2026? We want to hear from you in the comments. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you don't miss these live streams anytime we smash that go live button in the future. Tim, you got anything else you want to hit before we wrap up, Bob?
Go Pack, go. Good luck in that preseason game on Sunday. Let's go.
There you go. I will be watching. We will be doing a pregame show. We will be doing a postgame show. Again, I just didn't want to waste too much time breaking down the X's and O's of two teams that I don't know what the hell is going to happen, to be honest with you, man. We may not even show anything out there in terms of a scheme to tip our hand on what we want to do the next week. I do like what Steno said today about Jordan Love, where he said, I like the look in Jordan's eyes right now. He's hungry. There's something, I'm telling you, I think in Love's mind, he's going, you know what? It sucks we lost Micah. We've lost all these players, but by God, what if we went on a run, right? What if we all just gave 110% in complete focus in this playoff run? What if we went out there and shocked the freaking world? We've seen them, Tim. This team is electric when they're on. Yeah. It's just the inconsistency of the youngest football team in the National Football League, right? So,
and you talk about going 1-0 every week. That's what the NFL playoffs is all about, man. Win or go home. All you got to do is go 1-0. There's no reason to believe that this team or any team that's made the dance has a chance to go on a run. So I think the biggest victory we can hope for on Sunday is leaving Minneapolis with a victory in the sense of nobody else is on the injury report. If we can get out of there healthy, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. And get some young guys some snaps. I would like to see Trayvon Diggs out there playing a little bit and kind of get him familiar with everything,
Little Colin Oliver out there in the mix, maybe.
Yes. So there's going to be plenty of stuff to look for in this game. Don't get me wrong, but again, we'll be giving you guys all the action pregame. But what is today, Tim? Is it Friday? It's Friday, right? Yeah.
Friday.
So we're just a couple days away. So we'll start to break down Packers Vikings as much as we can in the next day or two. But we'll get into that, and then of course we'll be bringing you all the action on game day. So Tim, appreciate you jumping in here on short notice, man.
Yeah, awesome, man. Glad to be here.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Again, make sure you guys hit that like button for us if you're watching live here. Thanks to the chat. You guys were absolutely awesome in here. It was fun talking ball with y'all just on a random Friday afternoon. So make sure you hit like, subscribe, and make sure that bell icon is on so you know when we go live. Appreciate everybody jumping in. Appreciate you, Tim. We'll see y'all either tonight or tomorrow. Got a dinner planned tonight, so it won't be the normal time. But if news breaks here in a little bit, maybe we get an injury report update. I may go live before we head out for dinner. So you guys just keep your eye on the streets for that. We'll see y'all tomorrow for sure, though. My name's Clayton. That's Tim. This is PTA. Go Pack, go.
There we go.
Bye, guys.